Hello everybody, GravyTrain here, doing another episode of GravyTraining. This is a hero spotlight on Indigo. So Indigo is part of the team that I had posted in the first team spotlight. So I've already done a video on Valken and Jin and Zen. I figured I would go ahead and cap that off and do a video on Indigo. So, Indigo is a fast elf rogue. Right now, elf and rogue, really not all that impressive. But she has some pretty underrated kind of special abilities. Very similar to how Deadeye is, where he is pretty underrated. She flew under the radar for quite a while, and now you're starting to see more people realize that she's actually useful. So her runes, I have an unbreakable on her. It's the health variation, really doesn't matter, I just wanted the unbreakable effect. I've got her pretty much the rest of the way runed for defense, so she's got a little bit of skill, which is going to improve her chance to crit and her a chance to apply her various debuffs. She's got damage reduction and some attack, Guardian rune, and I threw a tactics on here for the crit chance, and a little bit of attack and a little bit more skill, and some more damage reduction. So all in all, she has modest attack of 54-55, a fairly decent attack or defense of 11-5-33. That's from the Bulwark rune and everything else. A decent max health, and this very important fact is the 50% crit chance. So she's actually overkill kind of on the crit by a little bit, but it's not too big a deal. So her abilities. She has Elven Grace, so she takes significantly less damage from crits and deals 2 times damage to flying enemies, so she's good for, say, Agnon, Inferno, and characters like that, although not as good against Inferno because of the elemental disadvantage, but anyhow, yeah, deals 2 times damage to flying enemies. She is fast, thus she attacks in the fast phase. Attacks first is not actually correct. She's a real stunner, so she has a chance to daze on basic attacks. Not so great against dwarves, which is the most common thing you're going to encounter. Really good for everything else. She's not going to affect Emily or Agnon with this, but she will attack, or she will affect other heroes that you're going to encounter. So this gives them a high chance to miss. This is what really makes her great. So critical energy boosts team energy on crit. So that's not just like she gets energy. Your entire team gets 1 energy for every single crit she makes. And she has a number of multiple attacks. So this can very, very rapidly fill your energy on all your heroes. So if you can't quite get enough festive runes, for example, for the Zen team, I have put her in there, and that was the whole point of that team spotlight. She very, very rapidly fills up that additional energy. So on her abilities, she's got a ranged physical attack for 1352. Her damage is nothing to write home about. It's kind of like the same thing that you get with Deadeye, but it's her utility that really matters. So her first ability starts powered. It's 3 ranged physical attacks for 983, basically 1,000 damage, with a 20% chance for an extra attack. So right out of the gate, before you add a rune or anything else, she's got a 20% chance for an extra attack. And these are basically 3 basic attacks. So this, any of her basic attack chance runes, anything like that, this will actually proc. And it's also got a 50% chance to silence, so not great against Valken or Emily or constructs, but great against anybody else. So the thing is, because this is 3, potentially 4 attacks, the chance that you're going to get at least 1 crit with a 50% crit rate is, well, pretty darn good. So as long as you don't attack elementally disadvantaged, i.e. green heroes, you've got a good chance to crit. So, next ability is Chilling Barrage. This one does not start powered unless she gets a crit. So ranged physical attack on all enemies, and remember, ranged physical means that if she's teamed up with Deadeye, that this is also going to have a chance to purge a buff. But a ranged physical attack on all enemies for 1639 base damage with a chance to chill. Chill just means that they're not going to gain energy naturally. It's 1 energy per turn. If they're going to gain it some other way, they're going to gain it some other way. Chill isn't really all that great, but this is, once again, a ranged physical attack on all enemies, which means early on, you're going to be attacking 4 enemies with a chance to crit 4 times, thus generating more energy. And finally, I actually really like this ability. This is like the opposite of Zen's ability. So it's a ranged physical shot for 3142 base damage and will slow the target. This doesn't mean it's going to make a fast target normal. I believe I've seen it to where this makes the target slow. So they attack last, they also gain follow-up attacks and everything else for being slow, but they actually gain the slow buff. Yeah, and she does not have an epic. So in terms of using her, I mean, we'll run through a quick battle here just so you can kind of see. So okay, we've got a Jin here. So my team is already set up with her. I use her all the time. Starts with Emily, Zen, Valken, and Kra. Kra being there to stop Jin. So we'll go ahead and start. And wonky donkey. Interesting. Alright, and that is why I set her up, and Kra's dead, which is kind of amazing because Kra is pretty strong. But it doesn't matter. He's already done his part. And my Kra is 6-star. So 3 ranged physical shots. I actually have access to my abilities because Foresight, which there's a video on Foresight if you haven't checked that out. So now my Zen only has 4 festives, but I can do Enlightenment round 1. At which point I can start tearing things apart. And Emily. Okay, so here I want to take him, and yeah, that's what I said. So he was a fast hero, now he's a slow hero, which means he doesn't get to go until the end of the turn now. So I have plenty of time to do all sorts of other terrible, terrible things to him. I'm going to make sure that Zen stays alive. Got nothing else I can do. I'm going to go ahead and heal everybody so they become mostly debuff immune. Trigger haste again. And he's dead. So that's it. That is how to use Indigo. Stopping her is fairly easy, but you're generally not going to run into her on defense. She's definitely more of an offensive tool. Yeah. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. Either way, I would definitely appreciate a thumbs up and supporting the channel that way. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. You're watching YouTube, everybody asks you to do that, so I appreciate it if you do. Comment down below, and yeah, thanks for coming out. Later.